Okay, you guys ready to talk about client connection? This is a big one. And I'm just getting you up on Facebook too, so that if you have questions for me, I can answer them real time. If you are watching us in the blog, then just hit me with questions. You can email me, you can text me, whatever works best for you. So if you don't already know me, my name is Dr. Jodi Dinnerman, and I am the founder and creator of all things Staffless Practice, and I have coined myself the expert mistake maker and solution creator. And here's why. I've been in practice for 23 years, and I would say that more than 60% of what I know to be true, I learned from making mistakes. And, you know, I can read I have so many books, you guys. Like I've written so many books. I've got so many books. I've got the podcasts. I've got the seminars, the trainings, the coaches. I've got all of the things. And the truth is, I can learn little pieces from all of them. But here's what they do. They plant a seed. Usually the seed's more in my heart than it is in my head, right? They plant a seed for me to remember to identify what's happening when it's happening when I fall down. Let me give you an example. And this is going to come back to client connection, I promise you. Let's say that I'm learning how to ride a bike, okay? I'm going to fall down 50 times, but I'm probably going to get up 51 times. And every time I fall down, I need to be able to identify this is me falling down so that I can get back up and do it again so that I don't fall down anymore. Every time I've fallen down in practice, and I fall down all the time, you guys, I've got the battle scars to prove it, right? Every time I fall down, if I'm able to identify why I fell down and why I need to get back up, I'm good. I just need to be able to identify it and classify it. And I would say that there is no area that this couldn't be more true when it comes to connecting with practice members. I've made all the mistakes. I've done all of the things. Like the biggest mistake I think that I've made is thinking that I need to script my visit 1 and visit 2. I have literally memorized scripts. And I felt like such a fraud while I was sharing with my practice members because it's not who I am. If scripting is your jam, I'm not cutting into that. It's just not who I am. And it came off super clear that it wasn't authentic. And I didn't get the opportunity to connect with the practice members when those kinds of things happened. Right? So what I want to talk about today is what to think about the how and the what and the why of connecting with practice members. Hi, Haig. People like Haig John, one of my favorite people in chiropractic, like his jam is connecting with people. So here's what I beg of you, okay? When you're learning a tool like connecting with practice members, learn from people who are super connected. When you're learning a tool like how to make a lot of money, learn from people who walk in abundance. Or the antithesis. If you're learning how to connect with people, learn from people who do not know how to connect with people or people who have mastered it, right? Connecting with people is my thing. And if I've coached you or am coaching you, you can attest to that. And the same is true for my buddy Haig, who's listening now. So I just want to step into the shoes of a typical practice member. And it doesn't matter if you're a chiropractor, a PT, an OT, whatever it is that you do, this is true for you as long as you have a practice and you serve wellness care. I'm going to use my own story that I write about in my book, Staffless, which is over my right shoulder here. Little plug. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's on Amazon for like $10. Here's me in the cold, hard chair. Okay. I go to my lady doctor once a year because it's just what you're supposed to do as a big girl. And I'm in my lady doctor's office and I haven't been there in a good year. And I walk in, you know how busy we are as wellness practitioners, right? And I walk in and I'm early for my appointment. Okay, because that's how I roll, because I have a practice. I'm a firm believer that do as you want done unto you. So if I'm running late for my appointments, guess what's going to happen, you guys? People are going to run late for my appointments, right? So I try to run early if I'm going to another practitioner, just out of respect. So I show up early. I show up 10 minutes early. I've got the paperwork already filled out. This is me going to the lady doctor. And I walk in and I walk up to the 3 foot, I'm definitely like elaborating on this, but the glass is probably this thick between me and the woman sitting behind the counter. Okay. And I can barely see her because the glass is up to here and she's down here and she's got piles. Like I've got piles sitting on my desk, but they're pretty neat piles. This lady's got piles, right? And she slides it open and she says, license and insurance card. No, like, hi, how are you? Are you okay? Are you nervous to be here? It's kind of a sensitive appointment. I know you only come once a year. Are you cold? Do you need a cup of tea? No, none of it, right? There's no connection. And Godspeed to her. She's probably way overworked and way underpaid. And this is just the culture they have in their practice. That's what this is, guys. This is us honing in on the culture of our practice. That's how we connect with people. I've experienced, okay, so that doesn't end there. Then I go to the cold hard chair. Literally, the chair is cold. I'm reading magazines that when I turn the pages, they make those sounds because the pages are so old, right? Because the magazine's been sitting there for so long. People are in mass left and right, right? And that's not what I did. I didn't have it on. And I got the dirty looks darting at me. And one person goes in at a time and I'm sitting there and now I'm 20 minutes later than my appointment time. So I've been sitting there for a half an hour and there's no apology. There's no, I'm sorry, we're running late. Would you like to go get a cup of coffee or run an errand and come back? There's no connection, but I wait because I need to go to my lady doctor because this is what grownups do. And then I go in and I meet with my doctor who I really love. And that's why I'm willing to put up with it. She's cool, right? And I spend 5 minutes with her to find out how healthy I am and to sign up for doing it all over again the next year. So the irony there is that the connection comes with the doctor because we really do have a nice connection. But I think it's more of like a colleague to colleague connection. So here's what I beg of you. Walk through your last visit as a patient. Walk through every step of the process. It doesn't even have to be as a patient. Walk through your last visit to the bank. Walk through your last visit to the library. Yesterday, I went to my favorite clothing store and the service was so bad, you guys. It was so bad every step of the way. And I grabbed the manager and I said, listen, you guys have to do better than this. This store needs better than this, right? Walk through the last experience like that. Write down every way that the bar was not met, that the bar was not hit with you and your expectations being met. With you feeling like somebody connected with you. Somebody took a minute out of the busyness of their day to make sure that you felt seen, you felt heard, and you felt appreciated because you were there for no other reason. And then you have a list of how you need to connect with your perfect practice members because chances are those people are you 3 to 5 years ago. So they're going to want connection the same way that you long for connection. I long for connection when I go to my chiropractor's office. I want a hug and he gives me a hug. He doesn't have a front desk person. I get a hug. We chit chat with the other people in the waiting room. There's connection happening there because that's the culture that he has created. I get to adjust him too. It's just total connection. He also checks in with me administratively. When's your next appointment? When are you going to see me again? And I love everything about all of the different things that he does and the way that he does it in his unique ways. They make me feel seen, they make me feel heard, and they make me feel appreciated. So the other thing I wanted to touch on, does that make sense to you guys? Okay. I wanted to touch on the fact that people move differently through the world. So, and I talk about this a lot when I talk about one of the things that we can do to really appreciate our practice members and create true connection for them is create client centers for them. And if you're one of my people, if you're in Staffless Practice Academy, you know what a client center is. Basically, a client center is creating a help yourself area to whatever the concept is, whether it's a snack area, an essential oils area, a scheduling area, a payment area. And you create this help yourself area so that you and your time and your energy do not need to be part of the process. And then you create a really solid way to communicate with them, the system for that thing. Okay. If, by the way, you're watching this and you're not already a student, drop the word in the comments here. Just drop the word student and we'll reach out to you and talk about what that looks like. Okay. So connecting with them could be a physical connection where you shake their hand or you give them a hug or you wink at them, whatever it is. That's not physical, that's more visual, right? Physical connection and emotional connection where you make a very solid effort to be completely present with them, at least when you say hello to them, when you take their subjective, when you write down their notes, when you touch them. Do you know how many times I have been to body workers and they're touching me and they're not thinking about their experience with me? They're thinking about their to-do list, they're thinking about the phone that's ringing, they're thinking about all of the things, but they're definitely not thinking about me. And you guys, I can feel it. And if I can feel it, they can feel it too. So physical connection, emotional connection, even like the connection through the senses, like, do you wear perfume to work? Have you thought that if you do, that not everybody likes the way that perfume smells? Do you wear deodorant? If you wear a deodorant, does it have perfumes in it? Have you thought if you lean over people and they can smell your deodorant, that's a disconnect, right? If they don't like the way it smells, and half of the people are going to like it and half of the people aren't. So best to either not use a scent or to use a scent that's most commonly loved. And most of the time, those are things like citrus. Most people like the way a lemon smells or a tangerine smells or an orange smells. Connection, true connection. The other thing that I know that I struggle with, and I'm getting better every day, is really effortful, intentional listening. My husband's so good at this. He's the best listener on the planet. He's such a good listener that it pisses me off. Like sometimes I'm like, stop listening to me and react, right? So when somebody is sharing with you, a practice member, a potential practice member, the person at the bank, the whoever it is, right? The ability to not have an agenda, to receive what they're sharing with us as energy coming towards us for us to welcome and integrate, and to not have to bounce back at them. Do you know how good that feels? When was the last time somebody did that for you? Intentional listening. So if you could take a concept like, think about all the things that I just dropped, right? Intentional listening, being mindful of smells, being mindful of touch. If you're hands-on and your hands aren't gentle and warm, and if I always say when I teach palpation to chiropractors, if I push on you to palpate you and I can see white around my fingertip, I'm probably palpating too hard. What we were taught in school is if you take, we take a phone book. They don't make phone books anymore, do they? I don't even know if they do. But let's say this is a phone book. This is my newest planner. All of my 12-week students, just a heads up, be on the lookout. So if you take a planner or a phone book or any book that has relatively thin pages and you pull one of your hairs out of your head and you put the hair in between two pages and you try to feel the hair in between the two pages and then 3 pages and then 5 and then 20 and then 40 and then 100, you should be able to palpate all the way through. And what you'll find is the lighter you touch, the more you palpate. Okay? The lighter you touch, the more you feel. So when you're hands on with a practice member, and if you're palpating really hard, you're going to feel a whole lot less. That's been my experience since, and I've served maybe 150,000 adjustments at this point. So be mindful of it, because some people have never been touched before by somebody that they don't know. My first adjustment was given by a man, first of all, which I was completely uncomfortable with because I was 19 and it was just a weird thing, right? The room was dark. Nothing about it was comfortable. Nothing about it felt safe until I got to know, trust, and love him. Then he became my safe person. So you have to think, this person is coming to us. You're coming from here. They're coming from here. You meet here. Both of you have an agenda. Both of you have a story. Both of you have experiences and colors and all of these things that have made this moment be this moment. Best for us as wellness care practitioners to focus our exchange with this person on active listening, physically, emotionally, chemically, all of it. Take it in, breathe it in, be present for our people, because who's doing that? There is a leader in the chiropractic world who talks a lot about energy. And he once taught me that some people carry their energy in front of them. And these are really aggressive people who you always know that they're in the room. We all know that person. I actually 50% of the time am that person. Some people take their energy and hold it behind them. This is my husband. And the way that you feel when you're around these people, hold on, I got a drink. I shouldn't do these talks and chew gum, but I'm addicted to gum, as most of you know. Hold on. So some people take their energy and put it behind them. And for those people, people lean towards them. They're like magnets, right? And some people take their energy and have it rock smack in the middle of their body. And they're just totally present. So play with it. Play with putting your energy forward. Pick a partner, ask somebody to do this with you. Push your energy forward, push it backwards. If the word energy gets you hung up, push your attention forward. Pay attention to the space 1 inch in front of your body. Pay attention to the space 1 inch behind your body. And then pay attention to like your coronal plane inside this going through the center of your body. It's cool, isn't it? And then play with that with new practice members, and then play with that with babies, and then play with that with animals, and watch what you see. It's so incredible. Babies and animals, and some kids, usually before the age of 7, and I'll explain that in a minute. They are our truest mirror in how we're doing with true connection, because they have no tapes or stories about authentic expression. Usually when the ego forms, which is usually around age 7, that changes. And there are stories and attachments, and we can't get that true mirroring of how we're doing with connecting with people. So that's probably why I love adjusting babies so much. Okay, matching the tone of the individual. Let's talk about that. Hey, thanks. So here's a really cool exercise, matching the tone. First of all, what does that even mean? And this is another thing that we have played with many times in the classroom of hands-on within chiropractic. Some people they kind of bounce around the world, and when you talk to them, you kind of got to go bounce with them in order to catch their attention. And then once you catch their attention, you can bring the bounce here, and then you can stabilize the bounce. And if you're able to meet them with those people, when I start their adjustment, I'll just start with like a Traeger, like a gentle rock, because this is kind of where they hang out, and that's where I have to meet their body, right? Some people, I live in Hunterdon County, New Jersey, and we got a lot of farmers here, a lot of tough guys here, a lot of tree climbers, like lots of outdoor people who are tough. I also take care of a ton of CrossFitters, really strong, burly guys, but with a super soft core. So when I find those people, I have to be very clear, very certain. I'm actually shifting my energy as I'm talking about each person. I need to be very clear on what I want to talk about to them about. I need to be sharp, to the point. My palpation needs to be not aggressive, but stern and clear and to the point. And there's no airy fairy with them. I need to meet them where they are. And then I have some people who come to me and they are scared shitless because of whatever story they're coming to me with. And for those people, I need to say immediately, you're scared. Tell me, what are you scared of? Some people, I'll just say to them, if you're concerned, and this is usually the first thing I say when my hands go on someone I've never touched before. If you're worried that I'm going to hurt you, I've served over 150,000 adjustments and I've never hurt anybody. And chances are slim to none that you're going to be my first person. But just in case you're concerned about it, I promise you I won't hurt you. Because that's what people are worried about when they go to a new doctor. You're either going to hurt me or tell me I'm sick. Wrong doctor. So these are the things about true connection with practice members. These are the things that music is another one. Let's talk about that. These are the things that we want to have front and center when we're thinking about true connection. And guys, this can infiltrate through everything we do. Our website, our paperwork, the way we answer the phone if we answer it, our text messaging, all of the things that we offer solutions for in Staffless Practice circles, all of the ways of automating our stuff at our front desk, it can all be done in a personalized way so that you don't lose the connection. I promise you there is a way to personalize texts. I promise you there's a way to personalize emails. All of these things are possible. Follow my lead. And again, if you're not yet a student and you're interested, drop the word student in the comments below and I'll connect with you. Okay, I think those are the things that I wanted to talk to you about. So from here, what do? You take a bird's eye view, walk through the experience of being a practice member in your office as a practice member. Walk through the experience from the first point of contact, whether they find you online or at a seminar, whatever it is, to the point where they're at their 12th visit, ready for their first reevaluation, if that's when you do reevals. What's it like for them? Are there any little pockets that you can add connection to? If you're one of my students and this is something that you want to explore, let's do so in our next session because it's really, really important. And I can't tell you. So we've recently taken Staffless Practice Academy. Let me go there. We've recently taken which we have solutions for everything that has to do with running a practice without staff, building it, running it, connecting with people in it, organizing it, sharing it online, sharing it on social, all of it we've got solutions for. We have a 12-week program, and then we have a graduate program, which is called Scale, okay? Our 12-week program is only focused on efficiency at the front desk. All of the rest of the stuff is in our Scale program. Efficiency at the front desk, the first thing that people say to me is, I don't want to become this disconnected, automated practice. I promise you, there are ways to continue this connection through every part of the process. So that when there's like a Facebook party on the local chiropractor, like, don't you love it when these moms groups or sports groups or whatever it is, your local groups say, who's the best chiropractor in town? Who's the best physical therapy in town? Who's the best occupational therapist in town? It's an opportunity for us to celebrate our craft. Right? And what I want to hear for the people in this group specifically, and we've got a couple thousand of them at this point, is I want when somebody asks that question in your local community, that everybody says, Dr. Jane is the best because she really connects with people. Dr. Shona is so awesome because you just feel so seen in her office. Dr. Maria is so great because I just feel like she totally gets who I am. Connection, front and center. Every single experience with your practice members. Touch, taste, sound, sight, smell, physical, emotional, spiritual, chemical. Cool? Okay, I'm going to stop recording and open it up to questions. If you're watching this recording somewhere far away, I'm sending you a ton of love.